Hello, hi, welcome back to the session. Myself, Dr. P. Shivaranjani, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Application. Today we'll discuss about Java Servlet and Servlet Lifecycle. So we know that we have learned already the Servlet overview. So it includes 4 different steps. That is by the help of the HTTP protocol, the client will make a request to the server. And by the help of the servlet, the client will accept the particular request from the client, and it will pass by the help of your HTTP protocol, it will pass the request to the server by the HTTP protocol. Then the server will find out the particular response for the particular request, and it will again transfer the particular information to the client. So here the servlet will be a overview or a common one which will help you to build your dynamic programming. So the server will receive the HTTP request and determines the need for the dynamic web pages. The servlet select the appropriate servlet to generate the response and create request or response objects and passes them to the method on the servlet instant. The servlet add information to the response object by the help of a method call. The servlet generate HTTP response based upon the information stored in the response objects. So the servlet lifecycle. Servlet application in programming interface lifecycle method includes 3 stages or 3 methods. First one is init. So this is called when a server is initiated and must return before any other method will be called. So this is the first method which will help you to initialize your servlet programming. And the second thing is a service method. So this service method is directly called by the server when an HTTP request is received. Defaultly, this service method calls do get or related methods. So the destroy is the one which is the one when the server is getting shut down. Then the destroyed method will be used. So these are the 3 stages of your servlet lifecycle. So this program will explain how does this servlet will work it out. So here I have defined a function called as before when you're starting your servlet program, the first thing is you have to initialize the particular servlet. So for that I have used a function called as init. So here this init will throw the servlet exceptions. If there is any connection establishment problem, then it will specify the error to the particular statement, and this example will explain the lifecycle method. So here I'm going to make use of an attempt to initialize the visit variable from the file, and I'm also using the particular page has been founded, then the request made by the client is successful, and if it is not available, then the file then the request is not successfully available to the user. So in such case, it has to display a message called as file is not founded. So for that, I have used this through two exception called as unavailable exceptions. So this exception being thrown if the initialization failed and the servlet should not initiated. So in such cases, it will throws the error for the user. The very important thing is parameter data. The request object which implements the HTTP servlet request provides the information from the HTTP request to the servlet. Once the type of information is parameter data, which is the information from the query string portion of the HTTP request. So here in this example, you can see that whenever you're browsing to the website or when you're going for a Google, you'll have an URL, right? That is nothing but your uniform resource locator. So here in that URL, you'll have an option, a keyword called as HTTP colon. I'm going to a website called as example.com, that is a servlet, print this. So I'm going to print the message whether the particular page is successfully opened or not. So that is the content to be displayed. So that is the parameter data. The parameter data is the web analog of the argument in a method called. So here I have used a statement called as system.out.println. So this will display the string whether the pages has been successfully opened or not. Okay. The query string syntax and the query string follows the syntax and semantic. The parameter data, in parameter data, the query strings are syntax and semantic because multiple parameters are separated by ampersand. Order of the parameter does not matter. All the parameters are string. Parameter data. The parameter name or value can be sequence of 8-bit characters. URL coding is used to represent the alphanumeric characters. So here in the example, you can see that and the content to be displayed is argument /27 a plus string %27. So this is the value of the argument to a string. URL encoding applied by the server to retrieve the intended name or values. So this is the URL encoding algorithm for parameter data. First, you have to initialize the result to the empty string. For each 8-bit character in the original string, you have to check it out whether it is a character is an alphanumeric. If it is a case, then you have to concate the character to the results. Else, if the character is a space, then you have to use a symbol called as plus sign to the results. Else, you can use a concat a percentage sign followed by the 2-digit hexadecimal value of the character to the results. So this is the algorithm of your URL encoding. So the next one is some of the HTTP request method for accessing your parameter data. The first method is string get query string. So this will return the entire query string in its original URL form. And next one is enumeration get parameter name. So this return an enumeration of string values representing all the parameter names in the query strings. The next is get parameter with a string name. This will return a string represent the value of your URL of the parameter named or it is a null if the parameter is not presented in the query string. Then the next one is get parameter values with the input argument of string name. It will return a string representing all the value of your parameters named name or null if the parameter is not in the query string. So this is the sample output of your URL coding. So when you're executing the particular code, the query string will be like such. So argument is equal to %27 a plus string %27 ampersand color equal to red. So now I'm defining a string, the particular string. So the string is a string. So that is the content to be displayed. So in the case of a is a character and there is a blank space. So for that it is being replaced by plus that is your percentage symbol and followed by the hexadecimal number. Then you will that is for the single quotes. And for the string, I am using a %d, a percentage symbol. That is the refers to the blank space. Then the followed by the 27, and you will specify the color of the particular string as red. So the next one is your the body of your parameter data. So here you can set the body, that is the color of the particular string, the requested color. So if the color is equal to null, then the servlet outlet will be printing that particular value, that the particular output as an output on the screen. So the next one is parameter data. So here this parameter data must have an escape XML special characters in all the user supplied data before adding to an HTML to avoid the cross-siting scripting attack. So for that I have used webtech-ult.escape XML. So this will decide whether or not you have set a color or not. So this will help you to set the color of the particular parameter. So the next important thing is cross-site script. So in the cross-site scripting, you will have a two component. One is called as attacker and another one is called as victim. So the attacker will add a command containing the scripting elements. So, and the victim will contain the documents who is attacking your command or the scripting. So now you can, by the help of this attacker, there is your command or scripting element, you can log on to the website, and by the help of this victim, you can get the response from the server. So the next one is deciding the string to be displayed on the output screen. So now I am displaying the string as hello world, and by using this webtech uit.escape, I'm displaying the particular content on the body of the servlet. So that is the program explaining about it. The next one is your forms. So the form automatically generates a query string when submitting. The parameter name specified by the value of the names, attribute of forms of controls. So here I have used input type equal to text and name of the particular text input field is as username, and the size of the particular text box is 40. So the parameter value depends upon the control type. So here inside the label I am getting a check. I'm declaring a checkbox, and the name of the checkbox is given as box group 1, and the value of the particular checkbox is tall. Right. So this will help you to display the corresponding output with the form, with the text box and a checkbox. So the next one is value for the HTML form controls. So here you'll have a controls like input text, input password, text area. So the text present in the control when the form has been submitted. And you can also have a input checkbox, radio, submit, image, buttons. All the things can be used inside your program. And input hide refers to the strings are assigned to the corresponding value attributes. Select, string assigned to the value attribute of the selected options or the content of the selected options from which the value is not defined. So here in this example, I have created a web page with the label box and the text box, and I have given a text box of the size 40. Then I have created a that is option button, that is checkbox, tall, funny, and smart. So here this are called as a group box or box group 1 values. So this is the sample output of the above program. Next is get and post method. So the get method is a query string, is a part of your URL. The length of the query string may be limited. When you're using your parameter, data is not stored or updated on the server, but used only to request your information. So the URL can be booked or emailed, and same data will be passed to the server when the URL is revisited. So this is the example. So get and post example. So here I'm just logging into a method called as to a website. So here when you're using your get method, the URL will specify the entire thing. The content is viewed to the user or the person who is accessing the particular web page. Whereas in the case of using your post method, then the user cannot able to see the corresponding informations. The data will be encrypted. So the next one is post method. The query string is sent as the body of the HTTP request. The length of the query string is limited. Recommended if the parameter data is intended to cause the server to update the stored data. Most browser will warn you if you are about to resubmit the post data to avoid duplication of updates. So here you will get the display. This is the sample output, that when the user is posting the particular page again and again, then it has to display a message as such. So some of your servlet methods. So here you can, the first method is your string get remote adder. So this get remote adder will return the IP address of the client machine making this request. Get post remote host. So this will return the full qualified name of the client making his request or its IP address if the name is not available. The next method is get protocol. So this will return the type and the version of your communication protocol used by the client to make a request, that is either HTTP or FTP or URL, anything it is. Right? The next function is secure. So this will return a Boolean value indicating whether or not this request was made over the secure connection communication channel or not. The next one is get request URL. So this returns a string buffer containing the URL used to access the servlet, excluding any query strings appended to the URL, as well as assigning the both parameters. Enumeration, the next one is get header name. So this will returns the enumeration of the string objects representing the name of the header files that is making the request. The next one is get header with the string arguments of field name. So given a valid header name, returns the string representing the value of this field, or null if the header field is not representing the request. So these are some of the additional HTTP that is your servlet methods. The first one is set header. So this includes the header fields with your given name and the value in the header HTTP response. Then the second function is set data header. So here you can specify the name and the value of the particular header. The next one is the content length, set content length. So the length of the content or the content of the content length of the header has been fixed to the given value. Next one is your buffer size. So set the desired size of your response buffer. The next one is get buffer. So returns the integer representing the actual size of your response. The next one is your servlet methods. More on the servlet methods. The main important thing is response buffer. All the data sent to the printer writer object is stored in the buffer. When the buffer is full, it is automatically flushed. The content are sent to the client. A buffer become empty. Note all the header must be defined before the first buffer flushes. So the next one is do get and do post. Servlet have a method corresponding to other HTTP request method. So do head automatically define if do get is overdone. Do option, do trace useful default method provided. Do delete, do put override to support these methods. So that's it. So these are some of the useful method which will helpful for running your servlet program successfully. That's it. Thank you all.